Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about ENFP growth. One of the areas that is really important for an ENFP who's healthy and who is wanting to develop yourself, then I guess one of the most important things you can do is think about how you can grow and accomplish things. And I think one of the problems for an ENFP isn't growth in terms of ideas or in terms of new things to do or even new experiences to take up. It's more following through on the things that you actually said you wanted to do in the first place, or like achieving things or accomplishing things. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this whole struggle of growth and this whole struggle of getting stuff done, because I think it does hurt when you're changing and when things are being changed in your life, then things become a lot more painful. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like how there are things we have to fight for in life, and how sometimes we get to a situation where it seems easy to give up, or easy to settle, probably is the better way to describe it. So you might be in a job that you hate, or you might be in a job that isn't exactly you. You have two options: you can give up and you can leave, or you can try and make it the job you want it to be, or you can persevere and find a new job. I feel like sometimes the impulses of an ENFP, if not carefully monitored and if not looked after well, it's like the idea and the kind of this thing we have in us that's like for better and for more and for to be better, can sort of hinder us from actually having a reality check or a realistic view on like the options about life. And sometimes if we don't have a logical, objective opinion about what could happen in the future, we can kind of make bad logical decisions. So some of the experiences I've had is that sometimes you might act on impulse without having thought something through, and actually what you should have done is persevere in the situation to make it work. So I guess the whole thing about growing is that you're going to have to fight, you're going to have to push, you're going to have to keep going and not just give up when things seem like they're hard. Because I was thinking, it's so easy to live a life that's mediocre potentially, or it's easy to live a life that doesn't really challenge you because you could just settle. But if you know in your heart deep down, actually there is more for me, there is more that I want to do, and there's more I want to achieve, I just want to challenge you to do it. It doesn't matter if you fail, because at least you've tried, and the reality is that you at some point won't fail anymore, you will succeed. And don't fear also what other people think of you. It doesn't matter if anyone else thinks what you're doing is right or wrong. You've got to go with your conviction, and that's the thing as well. As an ENFP, you have a gut instinct, and that is very strong, and you should learn to develop that. And the only way you can learn to develop that is by trial and error, really, to a certain extent. So give yourself the freedom of making mistakes. Give yourself the freedom of doing things and seeing what happens, and you will succeed. You might fail, but that's okay. It reminds me of a quote. When you're going through the pain and things seem like you just can't continue, there's that quote by Theodore Roosevelt, part of one of his speeches, that says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." So challenge yourself to remember that quote when you think, this is too hard, I can't continue, because you can continue, and at least you're trying, and at least you're going to do something that's going to make a difference. And in the end, you might fail, but you can't then say what if. So whatever dreams you have, the ways you want to grow, the ways you want to make sure that you can be the person you want to be, go for it. Write them down, write goals down, and say, this is what I want to do, this is who I want to be, this is how I want my life to look differently. Write the goals down, and then when you've seen the goals on a piece of paper, fight for them. Every morning when you get up, you're like, I can't bother to do it, I want to do this instead, or I want to go to Starbucks, or whatever. Go to Starbucks, but don't go to Starbucks until you've achieved the things that you've said you're going to achieve. Force yourself to do it, discipline yourself, because that is fighting, that's the growing. The growing is in the discipline and the pain of staying at home when something else more exciting comes along. Trust me, I know, For an ENFP, there isn't any joy in the routine. There isn't joy in the small details of life. There isn't not details of life, but there isn't small joy in the small administrative details. But those all serve a bigger purpose, and it is making you into the person that you are better off being to a certain extent, because we all need to be able to discipline ourselves and have control over our impulses. So yeah, I know that when you want to fight in something, whatever it is, take each day as it comes, achieve the small goals, remember your vision, remember what it is that your mind is set on to become, whatever it is, those things that you dream about. Go out and do those things, become the person that you know you want to be, or the person that you already know you are deep down, but don't give up, keep fighting, and you won't regret it.